Support the channel over on Patreon and you guys can get a free Drift Truck t-shirt or sticker or both or neither. You know, you don't have to do anything. Either way, enjoy the video. The dreaded top hat. But wait, come here. Will it fit right now? No, it doesn't fit. You can see only one of the hole lines up. But when you eyeball it, it just barely is intersecting with this main tube, which means you guys were right. All we gotta do is a little bit of chopping. So this is our angle kit for the drift truck. This is an FDF Mantis angle kit for a 240SX with the 350Z wheel bearings. We got our lower control arm, our torsion arm is what I would say now. It's not a bar anymore, it's more like a control arm. Rack offset spacers, wheel hub, knuckle, top hat, and tie rod. Quite simple all in all. And this right here will give the truck 65 degrees of steering angle. It's gonna be ridiculous. So as you saw, we're gonna have to notch the main tube. We're gonna have to remake the top hats. Not a big deal, way better than having to remake everything. Let me show you one of these things set up. So it's funny, like these angle kits always look crazy when you see them on cars, but it's actually quite simple. Anyway, we're not touching this right now. For now, we have to get this to fit. Once this can fit, we can put together the angle kit. So the first thing we have to do before chopping stuff is make sure that the jig still fits and lines up. Because we whack this thing a few times with a hammer and if it doesn't fit or line up, we're gonna have to fix that. They both fit, cool. So now that the jig is in there, we gotta take it out because we can't be cutting all this stuff out while there's a jig there. Well, I didn't expect that. Sorry. Should be removable now. Can feel the little pieces of metal in my mouth crunching against my teeth. It's like when you go to the beach. Hell yeah. So clears that way, rotate it forward more. It definitely clears that way. And the way we cut this, you're not gonna be able to see that. The tube is notched from above, so it's gonna be perfect. At least I think. I guess we haven't gotten that far yet. It's pretty satisfying. Yet again, clears, brother. Now before we patch that notch, we're gonna go ahead and make a new top hat so that we know exactly where this thing's sitting. Make sure that the notch is going to work. I do still have the files for this top hat, but I don't have the editable files because I'm an idiot and I just, you know, they're made, toss them out. You don't need the files. So I'm gonna have to start from scratch. Let's do a little bit of CAD. our new top hat is done. This is of course the test piece. Oh, so it fits there perfectly, and then this is the oval out for the relocated strut. Pretty much exactly the same as the old one, except just a little bit extended on the back here. The sick thing is that with this top hat, you can't even see that the tube's notched. And now, that's all the way adjusted one way.
Oh, that's so clean.
It's so satisfying. Now, the sad thing is that the FDF thing moves a little bit when you adjust it, and so there's really no way to make this hole for the FDF logo like always be aligned. It looks the best there.
Great, but
then when it's over there, it looks a little whack. Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty satisfying. Pretty proud of this. I mean, not like it was really that hard, but. And if you're wondering, pretty much the way this works is we take off this BC Racing top hat. You know, you unscrew this right here, take that entire thing off. This piston bolts into this hole. It's moving where the top of the coilover mounts from here to over there, which adjusts this caster, camber, all sorts of stuff. Geometry, which that actually reminds me, a lot of you guys were, asking like all this different geometry, why didn't I just do that myself? Like why didn't I, instead of building a factory style chassis to match the aftermarket arms, why wouldn't I just build an aftermarket chassis? And the answer is that FDF did all the engineering. Doing it this way, I didn't have to do anything because I pretty much just built the car how Nissan built it, which is easy to replicate, and then I used their parts. Okay, still covers everything, that's sick. And definitely still clears everything, beautiful. So we got all of the notches in the tube work patched. We ended up having to notch one of the other tubes a little bit in order to actually clear the coilover. So what I didn't think about is that the coilover is slightly bigger than the top hat itself. So, it was hitting the bar. But everything fits now, so we're gonna go ahead and weld it up. Now we are definitely going to have to brace these strut towers a little bit. With the first notch, I don't think it was too big of a deal, but now that we've notched the vertical bar, which actually holds most of the load, we'll add a little cool, it's gonna look sick. This side requires a bit more extra finessing because we designed it for that side. And although the geometry is the same on both sides, everything is a couple millimeters off, different, Yeah, she fits. So, we now have both of our new top hats tacked together. Beautiful. I'm actually happier with the way these turned out than the first ones anyway. We did make the holes a little bit smaller to make it a bit stronger. And I think it looks better when it comes all the way up to the main bar. Now we're gonna go ahead and weld them fully up on the inside and the outside, grind them down so they look pretty, bring them back, tack them in. Let's go. Let's get this jig out of here so we can get a FDF angle kit in here. You know, I feel like we've done a lot of work and it looks about the same it did 2 weeks ago. Now, before we actually put the FDF kit in, we're missing one piece, the subframe and the steering rack. Let's rewind to a week ago. Another new transmission for the drift truck. We're actually running a dual transmission option, so we have more gear ratios. You know, 2 6-speeds, 6x6, 36 different gears. What the hell? This is not a transmission. This looks like a 240SX steering rack. There's also a 240SX subframe? Bro, that's not gonna fit my Mazda truck. Psych! It's gonna fit perfectly now. Steering rack's all cleaned up. We can test fit this now. The subframe we have not cleaned up yet. We'll do that in a bit. But we do have to modify it a tad to get it to fit into the truck. We don't have the bushings for this right now, so we're making do with what we got. See, it looks much better. Now it looks like it's an actual bushing, bro. Put it in the rack offset spacers for the tie rods on. Now, I did not do any research on how the single kit goes together. This is all temporary as well, so I'm just kind of, you know. So now this can go in the car. Hey, yo! Subframe and steering rack out of an S13. And look, I mean, it's gonna be a little challenging, but boom, steering shaft. A couple of couplers welded off this thing. Excuse me? There we go. Just needed a little finessing. I don't think I've been this excited for something in a while. I'm like trying to do this as fast as possible. Just, give me the hammer. Okay, well, why does that not work? It hits the subframe. Silly. Their instructions leave a little bit to be desired. You know, it's just a picture. It's like trying to build Legos. All you get is a picture of the assembled Lego. On the picture, it was the other way, but it certainly does make sense, more sense to do it this way because it actually fits.
That's pretty sick. I mean, can I go backwards?
All right, let's, yeah, it does look just like, and it looks so far back. Why is it so far back too, bro? That's locked.
That's crazy.
And let's see here. That's also locked. Well, our FDF S13 angle kit is put in, not really fully bolted, but everything is there. So right now we're pointing straight. Here we go. So that's full lock-ish to the right. And it would be much smoother if this stuff was tightened, but and that's full lock-ish to the left. I mean, that's just absurd. Now we are a little worried because I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen this thing with suspension, but it kind of looks like the wheel placement is pretty far back. Kind of looks like the wheel is going to be in the cab when we drive it. So we're gonna put the fenders on, then we're gonna test fit some wheels, see what it looks like. Obviously there's just an insane amount of adjustment in this angle kit. So, you know, as long as it's in the right ballpark, we'll be good. Ooh, I mean, it's close to, I mean, if you look at the center, that's pretty close.
Bro, the back of the wheel is gonna be outside the, like, what?
It's gonna be wide, bro. It's a drift truck now. And that's at the lowest setting. It can be like widened at least another inch, or at least another like 2 inches on each side, probably. Let me get the wheel. What? No.
The Mariah Carey CD.
He said, I just found a Mariah Carey CD. Oh, I think I lowered it too much, bro. Well, that was another worry, is it looked really tall, but clearly we're tripping because this thing's about to be, it's too low, it doesn't fit in the fender. That's funny.
That's good.
That is good. That is a good sign. I agree with that. There still has to be a brake rotor there too. So that's another quarter, half of an inch. And it's already, and it's at its lowest. Well, I guess we can add a bunch of camber. But oh my God, that's so cool. Bro. 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 Oh my God, dude. My wildest dreams have been achieved. I do think we will probably should still tub it, but this is right. This is in the ballpark. Our eyes were deceiving us. I mean, it's just absurd. Yeah, definitely gonna have to be getting some flares. Definitely gonna have to be chopping up this truck, but drift truck. Got the other wheel fender on. So now let's see, okay, step back. Oh my God. This is exactly what I've always dreamed of for this truck. It could not have turned out any better. Like, look at how much angle that is. Now, obviously the alignment's all whack. Like, this is so much positive camber because it doesn't have any negative camber when it's straight. So that's something we can fix. And it actually clears everything too.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I mean, like, without any adjustment, nothing is hitting. It's hard to see in camera how wide it is, but it's super wide. And the way that looks with like the tube chassis and the angle kit is just, it's just so good. Now I want to see this thing on the ground with the flares cut, with the bumper and everything. I was so excited about how this front chassis and this angle kit turned out that I forgot to record an outro for this video, and I just kept working on the truck. Now in the next video, we are going to get the front chassis 100% finished. We're tubbing the front wheel wells, modifying the firewall a bit, welding the front chassis, adding gusset plates throughout the entire truck, finalizing the angle kit and the steering rack and getting some upgraded parts for those, and a couple other little surprises. Now if you want to watch that video right now, you guys can click up in the corner and become a patron. You also get access to exclusive content, a free t-shirt, or a free sticker. And if you want to check out the merchandise over on emindustries.com, that would be amazing as well. Thank you all so much for support. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.